The ACLU filed a lawsuit in federal court today on behalf of 4 servicewomen, arguing against the Defense Department policies that exclude women from military combat. Let me turn to Captain Bedell. Again, thank you for your service as well. Tell me a little bit about where you were deployed, and tell me why you decided to be a part of this lawsuit.
I was in charge of a program called the Female Engagement Team, which meant that I had a team of 46 female Marines, and our mission was to engage with Afghans, so particularly women, but all Afghans. And we learned about their families, we learned about their cultures, and we learned about their communities. And in a population-centric mission, which is what we were doing in Afghanistan, that sort of information was critical to the battalion, the operations, and we brought a perspective that no one else could bring. That being said, in order to get to know Afghans and get to see people, you get to talk to them, you have to patrol. So every day, my Marines would go out on patrol, and sometimes they go out twice a day. They'd be wearing all the same gear as any of the men. They'd be carrying the same rifle, and if someone shoots at them, they're going to shoot back, just like everyone else. You're trying to teach them what they could do, what they couldn't do, trying to educate the commanders about what they could do and what they couldn't do, and all the while, frankly, we were to some extent making out as we go along. But because the policy does not fit the reality of the combat environment these days. There are no front lines. There's no safe zone. You can't just say, okay, well, this is a safe job that won't involve combat.
Presumably, when men and women, but specifically women, obviously, when they're enlisting in the military, you know about these policies. Do you think it's deterring women from entering the military? Knowing about these policies when you went into the military, how did you sort of think about them, or did you not know about them?
So I did know about the policies when I joined, but I think to some extent it's a little bit hard to really understand what that means, because really this is one of the last places in American life where women are categorically excluded. So I think for me it was, sort of understanding what that really meant. It didn't really connect with me. When it really did affect my decision was when I was planning on getting out. And you're sitting there and you're considering, what I can bring to the table and what you're going to do professionally. And you're looking at staying in an organization that doesn't value you, doesn't let you contribute fully, doesn't let you serve or contribute to the mission, the organization's mission, simply because of your gender. So I can continue in that environment, or I could go someplace where I could be evaluated and assigned based on my qualifications and my accomplishments. And frankly, that just made a lot more sense for me personally and politically, and professionally. And I think that's where you're really starting to see the effects. People join because they want to serve, but they leave because they've had enough. And you don't need to stick around if you're not going to be treated like a full citizen.